Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group.
Last night, the Washington Nationals came out swinging. They unleashed a never-ending barrage of hits that showed why they have the best record in the majors. And tonight, the man in charge of putting a stop to this potent offense is Madison Bumgarner. The young lefty will be looking to avenge a loss earlier this season in Washington. It's game 2 of the series. Giants, Nationals, next. Beautiful night for baseball here at AT Park as we get ready for game 2 of this 3-game series, Nationals and Giants. Hi again, everybody. I'm Dwayne Kuiper. Alongside me is John Miller. Well, look, last night, one of those games where you try to forget about it, although the Nationals did rough up the Giants pretty well. But the one thing in this series that we saw coming in was pitching matchups. And tonight is another good pitching matchup.
Looks great on paper, so it'll probably be 14-12 or something by the end. But both of these pitchers are pitching extremely well. One thing for the Giants tonight, though, against Jordan Zimmermann, who has the best earned run average in the National League now. He moved ahead of Ryan Vogelsong last night. But also, since June 22nd, nearly a 2-month period, he's got a 1.6 ERA. So he's pitching his best ball of the year right now. But the Giants have Pablo back in there, and this is their best lineup. And I think this is a lineup you're going to see most of the time from here on, according to Bruce Bochy. And it's got some depth to it. There's some power. And we'll see how Pablo does, because we don't know. He's only had the 3 games on the rehab assignment and then the 1 at bat last night since coming back from the DL. But they're anxious to get him in there and see all these guys in there together.
This is a bounce-back game for the Giants, and a game that they really need. All right, when we come back, Amy G is going to take a look at some Little League memories from your San Francisco Giants, and she'll do that after this.
Giants baseball on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Toyota. Check out the great deals at your local Toyota dealer today.
Well, after dropping Game 1 against the Washington Nationals, your San Francisco Giants are hoping to turn the tables on the hottest team in Major League Baseball. Welcome back to AT&T Park. I'm Amy Gutierrez. Game 2 of this 3-game set will start very soon. Also set to start shortly on Thursday, the Little League World Series. And the Bay Area will be represented as the Petaluma National Little League will be competing as the Western Regional Champs. So, what did your San Francisco Giants think about their Little League experiences? They share some of their memories with us now. It is our Geico quotes of the game.
I love watching the kids on TV, and it really reminds you what baseball's about. You know, they're having fun, and because we're playing a little kids game, and it keeps in perspective of why you love this game so much. And so Little League is great.
Probably my first inside the park home run, because I couldn't hit over the fence. I didn't have any power. But first inside the park home run, I fell down on the way to second base and got up and still made it. But somehow, I don't know, I guess I used to be fast when I was little.
I believe it was like T-ball, and I was like Mr. Picture Perfect. My uniform had to be tucked in right, my stirrups had to fit perfectly, and, you know, shoelaces, you know, had to sit, you know, accordingly. Like, I had to, it was like perfect.
You would get 50 cents at the candy shop right there at the ballpark if you had the dirtiest uniform. So guys love to roll around in the dirt. So as a kid, I remember just having the cleanest uniform at that time, and I said, I gotta try to get my hat in the ring here. So I went head first into home plate. Coach was going nuts. I don't remember. I have it on video. Actually, I think my parents videotaped it. It wasn't actually well executed. Like, in my mind, I think it was perfect. Pete Rose, full body dive, but I think the video shows that it was just one side of my body. I kind of flopped, but that was definitely the biggest moment. Like, I jumped up like I scored the winning run, and I think we were actually losing by about 5 or 6.
I don't know. You know, Little League is kind of a blur for me.
I just barely made the cut, and I, you know, just barely got on the team. And, you know, they hadn't pitched me for like so many other games, right? And then the starting pitcher came out of the game. He got hit in the shin with a line drive in like the second inning, and then I pitched the rest of the game and, you know, did well, and we won. And it was just kind of like that underdog story where, like, they never gave me a chance, so I finally got one when someone got hurt. And, you know, we went and ate pizza after, and, you know, I was a hero that day.
We were close to winning the championship in Virginia and a chance to go to Williamsport, but I gave up a home run with 2 outs in the last inning there, and I was crushed. I mean, I couldn't stop crying. You know, it's still, I look back and what a great time it was and a great memory, even though it didn't go very well.
Oh, Little League, it's such a great time, and we are wishing all the luck in the world to the Petaluma National Little League team in Williamsport. Go get them. The Giants are going to go after the Washington Nationals tonight. Dwayne Kuiper, John Miller will be back with first pitch and lineups, but first we're going to check in with the fellas at Willie Mays Plaza for a Say Hey Tuesday update. Stay with us.
In the field, let's check out our game time weather, and it's brought to you by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. 59 degrees here at the yard. We have winds at 9 miles per hour. Humidity is high, and it is a bit foggy. All right, let's take a look at the Nationals lineup. The lineup that banged out 14 runs last night. It'll be Espinosa, Harper, and Ryan Zimmerman. The cleanup hitter will be Jason Worth. He was out of the lineup yesterday. Then it's LaRoche, Tyler Moore, followed by Jesus Flores. Lombardozzi will hit 8th, and Jordan Zimmermann, the pitcher, will hit 9th. Madison Bumgarner will take the hill for the Giants. This will be his second start. The Nationals beat him up a little bit in Washington, D.C. in July, but his overall numbers, he's having a good year. 12-7 with a 3.08 ERA. So we're just about ready to play baseball here at AT&T Park as Danny Espinosa stands in. Sit back and enjoy this one. My crew co is on assignment. John Miller is here to do the play-by-play. John?
Okay, thanks so much. And here is Bumgarner to Espinosa. And we are underway. That ball a little bit low at 92 miles an hour. Espinosa last night had a 4-hit game, including a home run.
Yeah, he hit it to straightaway center field. It was where the big boys hit him.
2-0. Espinosa, who was the second baseman with Ian Desmond playing shortstop. Desmond's a good one. He made the All-Star team. But with Desmond hurt, Espinosa's moved to short, and they say they haven't lost anything defensively. Up the middle, Scutaro knocks it down, but will not have a play. He almost caught that one.
You saw Scutaro. Let's check out the rest of the defense. It'll go like this: Cabrera, Pagan, and Pence in the outfield from left to right. Sandoval back in the lineup. Welcome back, Panda. He'll be at third. Crawford, Scutaro, and Belt from third to first. Posey will do the catching. Bumgarner on the hill. Giants had a number of plays like that yesterday. Balls hit off of their gloves. And, yeah, the Nationals also hit some balls hard in that deadly combination. A lot of hits and a lot of runs.
The Vogelsong said after the game he was, for the most part, fairly happy with the way he threw. He thought he had good stuff. But he did have some bad breaks. And he said if he had a pitch to take back, it would have been the one that Kurt Suzuki hit for the 3-run double to cap that 7-run third-inning rally. Bryce Harper, the 19-year-old phenom. And the foul tip. Harper had 2 hits last night. He also went from first to third on a ball that never left the infield as the Giants left third base unprotected. On to the count. And right away, Pablo Sandoval is going to get a chance in foul ground. 1 away. The umpiring alignment: Jerry Lane, the crew chief, the plate umpire. Mike Estabrook at first, Larry Vanover second base, and Dan Bellino is at third. I asked Bruce Bochy, he said, what did you say to Jerry Lane? He told me what he said. And I said, well, I would eject you right now myself.
Yep.
But then he says it's hard to really argue with him for very long because he doesn't say a word. He just looks at you and doesn't react to anything you're saying whatsoever, except when Bochy said something about just how bad a call he thought it was.
Yeah, well, it was a close play, but he got it wrong.
Ryan Zimmerman, the young budding star for the Nationals out of the University of Virginia. I remember when we were at the old RFK Stadium before their new ballpark opened, and the Nationals were still a young up-and-coming ball club. But Zimmerman came up in September of that year, and the Giants had a series there. And he was hitting over 400.
Yeah.
He looked like the real deal from the very beginning. 1 ball and no strikes. 27 years old now. He's had some injury problems last year. And again, for a while this year, and he got off to a real slow start this year, but he has come on big time now. He had a double and 2 singles last night, and he's just about as strong as there is at third base defensively. And slider in for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I thought you covered it well last night. The injury this year, and then he really had a hard time getting started. And just about the time the Giants got to Washington, D.C., he got hot. And he really hurt the Giants in that series.
Bumgarner pitched in that series and had his worst game this season back on the 4th of July. That was the odd starting time. It was brutally hot and humid. Temperatures ended up over 100 that day with high humidity. And the game was played at 11:05 in the morning. That's a double play ball. Crawford, SCUTARO, but not a good throw. SCUTARO recovers and doubles him up. Zimmerman, not a fast runner.
It's Bumgarner out of the first inning. Let's take a look at the Giants lineup to face the very talented Jordan Zimmermann. It'll be Pagan, SCUTARO, and the Milkman. Buster Posey will be the cleanup hitter. Then Sandoval 5th, followed by Pence, Belt, Crawford, and Madison Bumgarner. You see Crawford's 6-game hitting streak and a big fly in the game last night. The young man out of Wisconsin, and he leads the National League in earned run average at .235. He beat the Giants in July, and you can see hits per inning, awesome. Walks per innings pitched, awesome. And he's a sink baller, and he'll get some ground balls. He's been fantastic.
So Zimmerman, who himself missed a year because of the Tommy John elbow reconstruction surgery, and then last year they shut him down at 161 in the 3rd innings because of that. They did not want to risk him being injured again. They went with the doctors. Thoughts on that? And Zimmerman complained about it and lobbied him to let him keep going. Thought he was pitching really well and he felt fine.
So here's a model.
Well, and it's, I think, part of the same model for Steven Strasburg, who's going to be shut down sooner rather than later. The difference being in a pennant race, whereas last year they were in the 2nd division.
So Strasburg can blame Zimmerman.
It's you.
It's your fault.
Pagan pops it foul and out of play.
Defensively for the Nationals, it'll be more Harper and Worth in the outfield from left to right. Zimmerman, as John mentioned, very good. Espinoza, he's playing great at short, followed by Lombardozzi and LaRoche at first. Flores and Zimmerman, your Nationals battery.
0-2. The slider struck him out. Here's Marco Scutaro coming up.
All right, let's check out our Ford right choice. This is the 6-4-3 double play. It's hard hit, so that means Crawford and Scutaro have time. And Crawford gave Scutaro a wide throw. It took him off the bag. But when you got a strong arm, you can make up the difference. All in all, it's a double play you have to turn. And it's if Scutaro remembered that Zimmerman couldn't run fast, he said, all right, I'm going to throw it anyway.
Worked out beautifully. So Scutaro comes up now, takes ball one. A fastball at 95 miles an hour from Jordan Zimmermann. By the way, this whole idea about Strasburg, who pitches here tomorrow, into the gap in left center. Harper cuts it off. Scutaro's going to test him. He's got the strong arm. Offline. Safe! It's a double for Scutaro.
And this is a big league play by everybody. Scutaro right out of the box. He decides he's going for two. Harper aggressive, gets to it. His throw is very good. Just a little bit offline, and it allows Scutaro to slide to the inside part of the bag. But you get those doubles by thinking double right away.
And he saw Bryce Harper cut down his teammate Joaquin Arias last night. Arias is a fast runner, but he thought he could make it, and he was right. And had that throw been right exactly in the bag, they might have got it.
Yep.
Melky Cabrera, 347, the most hits and in the major leagues and the most runs in the National League. That slider called a strike. And it took a while for Jerry Lane to give the signal for that strike. 0-2.
Well, we've got enough of those already. Those being umpires that delay that call a little bit.
I thought he was going to call it a ball, and I was going to say it looked like it might have been over the plate. Left center, Bryce Harper. Harper throws in behind him to second. Back is Scutaro. Well, Harper, he's only 19. He got great speed, great instincts, and he got an excellent jump on that ball.
Bruce Posey said something about Harper when we were in Washington, D.C. in July. He said the reason I like him is he's not afraid to make mistakes. He's just very aggressive. And he is aggressive.
So Bryce Harper plays Buster Posey, shaded a bit toward right. The slider, 1 ball and no strikes. You got a red hot pitcher. Jordan Zimmermann has a 1.6 earned run average going back to June 22nd. That's the best in the majors. And you got Buster Posey, the hottest hitter in the majors since the All-Star break, hitting at 450. Another slider, and it's 2-0. Posey 2 for 6, 2 singles against Zimmermann in the past, with Pablo Sandoval on deck. The Jets have those 3 sluggers in the lineup for the first time: Posey, Pablo, and Pence. And that slider is in there for a strike. 2-1.
Well, he knows he's got first base open, so he can throw just about anything he wants at Buster Posey.
Although now he does have to give a little more thought to dealing with the guy behind him that maybe he would have. Because Pablo only has a few at bats against him, but he's had some success, a single and a double, a .400 average in 5 previous at bats against Zimmermann, and a left-handed hitter on top of that. Runner at second, 3-1 the count, and that slider is low. So I think he, especially behind in the count, made just a thought, hey, maybe I get him to chase, but I do have that base open, just as you said.
Go after a guy who hasn't played a while at this level because of an injury and take his chances.
Sandoval played 3 days for the San Jose Ball Club on a rehab assignment, and all of his at bats, save one, were swinging left-handed. Part of the reason that they sat him last night. He did have one at bat batting right-handed last night and fouled out. Fastball in there for a strike. Now that ball was up a little bit, But we're not used to seeing Pablo just take pitches right out over the plate like that.
I think he was going to take no matter what.
2 men on, 2 men out. No score. Off the outside and down. A ball and a strike. Sandoval is hitting .299 for the year. 8 homers, 33 batted in. All but one of his home runs have been hit as a left-handed hitter. And a nice stab there by LaRoche, and from his knee he throws to Zimmerman for the putout. 2 men left, no runs, no score.
Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Heffernan Insurance Brokers. Insurance and financial services for you and your business. Visit HEFINS.com.
AT Park, Giants nothing, Nationals nothing, and we head to the second inning. I'm John Miller with Dwayne Kuiper, your Giants telecasters. Jason Worth, who was a late scratch from the lineup last night, with a little ankle pain, and he takes ball one just off the outside, and it looked like Bumgarner and Posey both thought maybe that one should have been called a strike.
They both stopped to see why that wasn't a strike.
2-0. Jason Worth hitting .400 since coming back from the disabled list. So he's been just like almost the entire Nationals lineup here lately. He's hot. .308 average for the year. He's only played in 38 games. And that slider breaks in there for a strike, and it's 2-1. Worth is big and strong, and he got hurt early this year making a diving catch against the Phillies. And got a bad injury to his wrist. Into the big part of the yard in right center. Plenty of room there for Hunter Pence. One away. Now let's go down to Amy G.
The Giants making a roster move today. They placed reliever Brad Penny on the disabled list with shoulder soreness, and they have recalled Dan Otero from AAA Fresno. Gentleman Bruce Bochy said Otero would only be able to be used in 1 inning because he threw 2 innings last night. And Brad Penny had shoulder soreness before he went into the game yesterday, so they are doing this as a precautionary measure to make sure that he can make it back. Guys?
All right, Amy, thanks. So some news. But the Giants, a little bit of a roster shuffle today. And that is a fastball for a strike to Adam LaRoche, the RBI leader for the Nationals. LaRoche, 23 homers and 76 runs batted in. No score in the game in the second. The Dodgers playing in Pittsburgh, which has been bad news for almost any team that has gone into PNC Park this year. Except not for the Dodgers right now. They won last night and they're way ahead tonight. There's the score is 7-0 now in the top of the 9th inning, and they're still batting in the 9th. That fastball too high. So the Dodgers, after winning 2 out of 3 of their first road stop over the weekend in Miami, about to win the first 2 in that series in Pittsburgh as LaRoche is down on strikes. Number 1 for Bumgarner. And now Tyler Moore will come up. 25-year-old out of Mississippi. And he's done his best hitting on the road. Look at that. Rather surprising. Although that ballpark in Washington, it seemed like there's a jet stream in the summertime that causes ball to right field and right center to jump.
Right center was deadly.
So maybe that's a great park if you're left-handed with some pull power, and maybe not so great if you're a right-handed hitter. Anyway, he has been thriving on the road, as have the Nationals. You had a great note last night. The Nationals' road record not only is the best, but their road record is better than any other team's home record.
I'm not sure I've ever heard of that before. That's impossible.
I've heard of teams who have played better on the road themselves,
right,
but not where their road record was better than everybody's home record. Not everybody's. Bumgarner puts him away post haste. Couple of strikeouts. Hunter Pence coming up with the Giants. Sunday's hero. No score after 1.5.
Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by the Solar Company. Call 877-60-SOLAR for a free analysis or visit thesolarco.com.
All right, Saturday, August 25th is America's Cup Day at AT&T Park. You need a VIP special event package. You get access to Triples Alley. You get food and beverage, a special edition America's Cup theme Giants hat. So it's also be a question and answer session. That's a bolt.
Deep to right field and off the wall. And a single for Hunter Pence. You should have just taken it.
415-972-2298. I'm glad I didn't. I'd have called it a double. This was tattooed. And if it hits one of the archways, it's going to die and fall down, but it hit the bricks and bounced right back to Worth.
Well, a double almost anywhere else, and probably in Philadelphia, that would have been a home run.
Yeah.
That was the Toyota Exmo. Look at that swing. And I think the Giants had to be thrilled to see Hunter Pence hit that pitch with such authority to the opposite field. And Belt hits this one to the opposite field. And off the top of the wall. The carom shoots by Moore. Here comes Pence heading home. Harper's long throw. Not in time. Belt to third and out. Belt was at second in scoring position and kind of violated the old adage, don't make the first out of an inning at third for the last out. And he looks a little frustrated.
Well, he should be frustrated, but not at that. I mean, this is a back spin drive that nearly gets out of here. It's going to score Pence. And at some point, when you're on the bases, as you can see, he missed a home run by a couple of feet. You got to remember what the situation is, and you have to make this. You cannot get thrown out, and Belt does. So, all in all, a nice at bat, but some poor base running.
And ball one to Brandon Crawford. Yeah, once he stopped, he probably would have been better served just staying right there. If he had never stopped, if he just kept on going, but he wasn't even moving hard there. And then he stopped, and then he reaccelerated. And that was not a close play at third.
It was not.
But you can see now what you hope, especially with a young guy. Okay, you made a mistake, and that he just won't allow that to happen again.
Over aggressive.
And the Giants spent a lot of time in spring training working on their runners being aggressive, taking an extra base whenever possible, but at the same time doing it somewhat under control. Giants have hit a couple of balls real hard in this inning. Now on a 3-1 pitch, a high pop-up. Espinosa out. Look out, look out. And the basket catch by Moore. Espinosa just got out of his way in time.
Well, visiting ballparks, it's always going to be a little bit weird. You got a lot of noise. But this one rattled around and then just stayed in at the very end. And Crawford was running hard. And he was yelling, I got it. And it was a wise move by Espinosa to get the heck out of the way.
Now Madison Bumgarner. Crawford's been hitting the ball pretty well lately.
Yes, he has.
Home run last night as a pinch hitter. Just missing. Zimmerman looked as though he thought he had a strike there.
Well,
2-0.
These two guys, John, are country boys, and they're country strong. They both like to hit.
That is a strike in the outside.
And Zimmerman's pitching him like he's Buster Posey right now.
So he's seen the video of him hitting a home run or so.
Right down the middle of the plate guy.
3-1. That was a two-seamer clocked at 96 miles per hour.
Well, I think Bruce Bochy wants Bumgarner to swing if this thing is in a good area, because he's watched him in BP and so have we. He can hit him a long way.
Wasn't the one he wanted.
Nope.
Didn't want that one away. 3-2. 2 down, nobody on, a run in. Zimmerman at third throws him out. Hit hard though. On to the third inning. The Giants are leading 1-0. McCaddy, the pitching coach for the Nationals, and he's doing a good job of it. His team's got the best pitching record in the league. Last night I had mentioned that McCaddy was a 20-game loser with the Athletics back in 1980, but I had the wrong guy. It was Brian Kingman, and not McCaddy, who was 14-14. But McCaddy, after I told the story on the air, and I was looking for material in a blowout.
We were too.
So even though I wasn't quite sure, maybe I didn't have the wrong guy, I was going with it just because I don't care about the facts. It's a good story, and I'm just going to go with it. Anyway, those were the guys. The Athletics that year under Billy Martin had 94 complete games. McCaddy had 11. And it was Brian Kingman who lost 20. But the funny part of the whole story was McCaddy said that Jordan Zimmerman and Steven Strasburg came out of the clubhouse and said, "You lost 20 games? You never told us that." And he said, "I never lost 20 games." He says, "No, they were talking about it. You can't hide it from us. We know about it now."
Yeah, they believed you.
Later on, he got a call from his brother after the game. He says, "You lost 20 games? You never told me about that."
And this is driven into center field. Pagan is going to slow down, and he's going to put it away. And then he got on me. I should have known, and I should have corrected you. And I said, "Well, Cat, look, John was so convincing. I really believe that you did lose 20 games."
Well, I guess neither one of us could remember Brian Kingman's name, and I apologize for that too. But McCaddy never lost 20. He was an excellent pitcher. He had 11 complete games, and nobody even knew about it.
No.
That would lead the league by far right now. But that club had a bad bullpen, and Billy Martin, according to McCaddy, would come to the mound and say, "You think you can handle this yourself, or do you want me to bring in one of those relief pitchers?" Yeah. And they would always answer the same, "No, you better just leave me in."
We're good. Lombardozzi is swinging a miss, 0-2. He said he talked to his wife Audrey, and she said, "Well, Kipe was up there and he didn't correct John." And it's like, oh man, now I'm in trouble too. And a foul back by Lombardozzi. Lombardozzi had 3 hits in the game last night.
The team that leads the National League in complete games this year, as you see that pitch again, it was a pretty good rip by Lombardozzi. He may have gotten away with one. But the team that leads the league in complete games this year, Cincinnati, 7. And the A's that year, 1980, had 94.
Got him on a high fastball. How many?
94. You saw that list. It was a great staff. And that was the year they called it Billy Ball over in Oakland. The A's really had 3 outstanding outfielders. And not much else. They had those pitchers. Mike Norris should have won the Cy Young that year. 22 wins. By far the best ERA in the league, 24 complete games. Rick Langford won 19, had 28 complete games.
Here's Zimmerman, who takes a strike.
I finally did. I apologized to McCaddy for saying he was a 20-game loser, and I said, but on the other hand, on that staff, you're lucky I remembered your name at all.
He got a hearty chuckle out of all of it. Zimmerman's 8 for 42, a home run, 3 RBIs. Well, Jeff Newman takes a lot of credit. He was the catcher on that team.
Well, they had, Bob Lacey was the reliever that they had. Billy Martin had the most confidence in, and Lacey was about it. So if they didn't finish the game, it was because Bob Lacey could come in and get the last couple outs or whatever. But I was surprised to see on that list Bob Lacey also had one of those complete games. Closer, and every once in a while made a start.
Well, we ended up getting Bob Lacey from the A's, and that was right after Billy wore him out completely.
Got him the wrong year.
1-2 to Jordan Zimmerman. Slowly hit. Scutaro takes his time, and that'll end the inning. So a 1-2 inning for Madison Bumgarner. Top of the order coming up. Pagan, Scutaro, Cabrera, 1-0 Giants.
on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Cache Creek's Tropical Riches. Win cash and prizes daily through September 3rd. Visit cachecreek.com for details.
Well, the Braves will be in town, their first and only visit, Thursday, August 23rd through Sunday, the 26th. Saturday's a 1:05 start. That's America's Cup Day. Sunday, the 26th, is the Pablo Sandoval bobblehead day. So all those 4 games, go to sfgiants.com, see what tickets are available, and come on out to the yard. Here's Pagan, 1-0 Giants. Pagan opened up the Giants half of the first inning with a strikeout. It's the only strikeout that Zimmerman has in the 2 innings of work. Scutaro and then Cabrera. Pagan had a pitch to hit and he fouled it straight back.
What a night. Sun setting over the Pacific and being reflected off the clouds high overhead. Always a spectacular sky here in AT&T Park.
Fastball high to Pagan. Those puffy clouds above the ballpark. Pagan foul down the left field line. Last night, over 42,000. Another sellout crowd tonight. Our good fans showing up every day, every night. The 1-2. It's sharply on the ground, backhanded by Lombardozzi. All right, let's check in with Amy G. Amy?
All right, Dwayne. Well, the Nationals right fielder Jason Worth, last night he was a late scratch out of the lineup, and today he's back in. But rumor had it he might be out all 3 games of this series due to ankle soreness. So I went and talked to Jason today, and he said simply he's dealing with the aches and pains of what is for him right now, his spring training. He broke his wrist and was on the DL for most of the season, and he's just getting back into the swing of things. He says sometimes he tweaks the ankle, it inflames a little bit, but it's nothing to worry about. So Jason Worth back in tonight, Dwayne.
All right. The 0-1 pitch to Scutaro is high. You know, and we were on the airplane when we watched the injury to Jason Worth, and it looked like his season was going to be over with.
It was a really terrible thing to see.
Scutaro hooks this one foul on the left field line.
He's having some good swings against Zimmerman, and a few Giants have had excellent swings against him. Scutaro hit a double on a liner into the gap in left center his first time that he turned into a double, beating a strong throw from Bryce Harper.
Low to Scutaro. Zimmerman. This will be pitch number 40 coming up. Giants have had good at bats against them. And the 2-2 pitch is hit on the ground into right field, a base hit. So Scutaro coming into the game was 1 for 10. He's 2 for 2. Watch this ballpark come alive, John.
In a time-lapse photographer here, and they open the gates a couple hours before game time, and gradually the people start arriving. Batting practice finishes, and then the stage is set. The spectacle begins.
Here's Cabrera, who lined out to center field in the first. The fastest 3 hours of any day for me. The second you get here, and for me it's at 4 o'clock. From 4 o'clock to 7 are the fastest 3 hours. Just zips by like what we just saw, it seems like.
So that was time-lapse photography, a sped-up version of what goes on. But for you, that is an accurate depiction.
It is. I mean, you get into a habit. You go clubhouse, check into the dugout, you get up here, you move around, and all of a sudden, it's first pitch. A good 2-0 pitch to Cabrera, and it's 2-1.
Got the low strike in that slider.
Scutaro at first with 1 out. Another ball hit sharply at Harper off the bat of Cabrera. And that's 2 now where Cabrera's hit the ball right on the nose. And here's Buster Posey. Melky needs to lower those sights just a little bit and he'd have a couple of hits.
By the way, we told a story about McCaddy not being the guy who lost 20.
Right.
Brian Kingman. But before we start hearing from Brian Kingman, I do want to mention Brian Kingman was the hard luck guy. A 3.83 earned run average. That's not bad, and he deserved to win a lot more games than he did.
And even Steve McCaddy said that before the game. Strike to Buster Posey, who drew a walk in the first.
The way McCaddy put it was a crime what happened to Kingman that year. Although Kingman did say he got a kick out every time a guy came close to losing 20, people started calling him from around the country, bringing his name up.
He liked the attention. 0-2 now to Buster Posey. Sandoval waiting on deck. 1-0 Giants. Setting up the target in again, and it's high. 1-2.
Well, we will never see a pitching staff used the way that one was used again. And that even then it was very unusual. It would harken back to the dead ball era in the early days of the 20th century.
And remember the Bay Area writers writing that Billy Martin was taking a real risk that he was going to hurt these guys. He was going to hurt them where their careers could be in jeopardy, and a lot of those guys broke down.
They did. Mike Norris, who should have won the Cy Young that year, I'll say it again. Steve Stone won it, and it wasn't that he didn't deserve to. I just thought Norris had a better year. But all those guys, Langford, Keogh, you didn't hear. Norris never had anywhere close to not even just a great season again, but had a hard time even having a full season without injury after that.
Well, now we're seeing with Strasburg, they're just doing things completely opposite that.
Yeah.
2-2 pitch to Buster Posey, and he rolls this one foul. He lives to see another pitch.
And I think he was just trying to spoil that one. That 2-strike slider, and he was able to do it.
Please don't hit this fair. The Cardinals beat the Diamondbacks tonight. The Diamondbacks in that city for a tough series. 2-2 to Buster Posey. Scutaro with his lead. And it's 3-2. And those are the tough takes that Buster Posey will do. And now Scutaro will take off. That is a pitch where a lot of guys will swing at that. A ball in the gap could score Scutaro. He'll be taking off. And this is popped up in shallow right field. Zimmerman took something off, and that'll end the inning. Dave Fleming will be in. John Miller will head over to the radio side. Here at AT&T Park, it's 1-0 Gigantes.
on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Premium Rush in theaters August 24th.
Here at AT Park, 1-0 Giants. Dave Fleming joins me. Welcome, Dave.
Nice to be with you tonight.
Top of the order, Danny Espinoza facing Madison Bumgarner. A little bit more fun over on the radio side, I'm sure, today than yesterday.
Slightly different feel to this game so far.
Bumgarner does what he always does. He throws strikes. He hasn't walked anybody, and he struck out 3. Espinoza dinged him for a hit in the first inning. Here he jumps back, and a call strike, and it's 0-2. Oh, yeah. Took my kid to a game. He really wanted to wear that hat. And we're having fun.
Got the matching sweatshirts.
Those t-shirts were given away. Say Hey Tuesday. Up the middle. And a perfect ground ball for a base hit off the bat of Danny Espinoza on an 0-2 pitch. So anyway, here we are at AT&T Park. John Miller over on the radio side. And as we mentioned last night, one of those games where if you're not careful, you start making up stuff. John did and got in trouble with Steve McCaddy.
Did he really?
Yeah, so we had that to iron out.
Wow.
It was great. It took the first 3 innings for him to apologize. But he did a marvelous job, and I was hoping that you didn't make anything up over there in 6 innings. As Harper bunts this one, and it's a good bunt. And Bumgarner kicks it around, and everybody's safe. So it'll be sacrifice E1.
Well, and I think it's obviously an error, but it is a forced error. Harper put a good bunt down, and he's got the power is what he's been known for as a young kid coming up through the ranks. But he's got great speed too, and I think Bumgarner knew he had to hurry. But that's a big play because now the heart of the order is up, 2 on, nobody out.
Well, they got Zimmerman on a double play ball in the first, and now the pickoff play is bounced. Well, watch Bumgarner. He grabs the ball and he tries to spin it around in his hands to get a better grip, and that's when he lost it. And that's our Exmo, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer.
So maybe it had nothing to do with the speed of Bryce Harper.
Yeah, he wanted to get something on the throw, and you want to get those seams. So a look to second in the pitch, and there's that backdoor breaking ball that misses. 1 ball and no strikes. So a ground ball up the middle that Bumgarner, I'm sure, thinks he should have had, and then the error, and all of a sudden you're in trouble with the beef coming up. And Bumgarner will chase Espinoza back. Espinoza has got it going. 4 for 6 last night, 2 for 2 here tonight. And this time, Bumgarner pours in a strike to even the count.
You know, his fastball tonight has been outstanding. And a couple starts ago, he admitted afterwards he threw fewer fastballs probably than any other start he'd ever had at any level. Just wasn't feeling real comfortable with it. Tonight, obviously, he's feeling very comfortable.
Worth to follow. Swing and a miss. Buster Posey sliding, you can see, to block that breaking ball in the dirt, and it's 1-2. Buster Posey, get over.
Perfect technique.
Crawford, Scutaro at double play depth. Hit out to shallow right field. Hunter Pence. Hunter Pence will catch and get it back in quickly. A big out. Now it's Worth. Worth hit a fly ball to right field in the second. Dodgers won big as they shut out the Pirates 11-0. The Cardinals beat the Diamondbacks in St. Louis 8-2. I think that's a 3-game series, correct?
Yep.
And is the Pirates a 4-game series?
It is.
So the Pirates have a couple of games to even up that series. So Worth the hitter. And Buster Posey bounced around, couldn't find it. 1 ball and no strikes.
That was Chad Billingsley tonight for LA, and man, has he been good. The Giants saw it firsthand. His season had kind of gone awry. Then he went on the DL. He's been a totally different pitcher since coming off the disabled list, and in a very good way for LA.
Espinosa at second. Harper at first. SCUTARO moving in behind Espinosa, and Worth spins back out of the way. It's 2-0.
Gives you an idea. Worth might not be picking the ball up out of the hand of Bumgarner. I mean, that was in tight, but it wasn't like that was coming right for him.
The 2-0. Nope, 3-0. So here you have to be careful. This is the cleanup hitter for the Nationals, and cleanup hitters usually get the green light. He did have the green light, and he had a good swing, and it's 3-1. Adam LaRoche to follow. Worth actually has to find a little bit of joy into what has happened in Philadelphia. He left a really good Phillies team to help the Nationals get back on track, and that's exactly what has happened. Hit out to left field. Melky Cabrera coming in. He's going to make the running catch. All right, let's check out our AT&T trivia question. Name 3 managers since 1950 who won more games than Davey Johnson but did not win a World Series. A nice comeback for Bumgarner after falling behind 3-0 to Jayson Werth. And here's Adam LaRoche. Tell you who was in a rock and a hard place was Belt. Belt had to determine whether he was going to help out in a cutoff play. And he left first base, and the base runner at first, Harper, was almost 3/4 of the way to second base. Low to LaRoche, 1-0. Melky Cabrera likes to throw, and he would have loved to have been able to make a throw to first. Crawford playing behind the base runner, Espinosa. Swing and a foul. 1 ball and no strikes. That's that either a cutter or a hard slider. There's Espinosa and Harper.
Real good speed out there, so anything extra bases is going to score both runs.
On deck is Tyler Moore, and Bumgarner would like to leave him there. LaRoche lays off the high fastball. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Well, they were relentless against LaRoche's first at bat, went just all fastballs and ultimately struck him out with a fastball.
Tapped. Bumgarner sets, throws, got him. And Bumgarner does a nice job. First 2 Nationals reach, and he pitches out of it.
presented by authority of the San Francisco Giants and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of San Francisco Baseball Associates, LP.
All right, back here at AT Park, a 1-0 lead. And let's go to Amy V.
All right, Dwayne, we have a new Romo's relief up and ready for fans at csnberry.com. It's brought to them by GoPro Camera. Sergio and I talk about how Bochy's going with closer by committee, and the bullpen needs to be ready for anything. We also chat about Sergio's strange antics behind me and others when they're on TV, dancing, weird faces, all that fun stuff. Romo's relief, csnberry.com. Dwayne?
All right, Amy V, thank you.
No reaction.
Oh. Yeah, Mike and I got a package of T-shirts to Crook and Kipe, and Amy got a package too. To Amy V.
They're big fans, though. They hang on her every word.
Amy V, yeah.
That could work.
You know what? Amy laughed harder than anybody, so she's a good sport. She's been picking on me lately, so I had to get back at her. And Sandoval on the second pitch of the at-bat, a slow roller to first. All right, our trivia question brought to you by AT&T. Named the 3 managers since 1950 who won more games than Davey Johnson but did not win a World Series. Gene Mock, Dusty Baker, Al Lopez. How about that?
And Dusty, that win total for Dusty just keeps climbing. The Reds had another dramatic win tonight.
Yes, they did. Here's Pence on a check swing foul.
And Davey Johnson, the national skipper, has had a lot of success everywhere he's gone. A lot of great teams. The Orioles teams he had in the mid-late 90s were powerhouse kind of teams.
Pence singled off the wall in the second inning. This is 2 check swings, and that check swing almost went far down the right field line into the upper deck.
Wow. Well, he hit a ball hard his first time up. That's for too hard.
Yeah. Way too hard. He attacks this and fouls it out of play. My favorite foul ball this year, I bet it's yours too. Pablo Sandoval hit one out of the ballpark in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Just hit it out and down the right field line.
Out toward Kentucky.
Yep. Pence waits in the dirt, 1-2. Belt to follow. It's the 2 awkward guys that have come up with the run for the Giants. Pence and Belt.
Awkward can be good.
Can be really good. Two and two. It's almost as if Pence walked into the clubhouse and met Belt and went, there's another one.
I've been waiting my whole career for this.
Oh, I love this place. Swing and a miss, and Pence is the second strikeout victim for Zimmerman. And that'll bring up Belt. Belt hit a ball 2 feet from the top of the wall and not going to run in the second inning. I'd say that in most other ballparks he probably would have had a home run. Belt fouls it back. That was pitch number 62 from Zimmerman.
Well, he's got a good thing going at the plate, that's for sure. It's not a particularly great base running play he made once he got out there. And that was surprising because he's a very good base runner.
He's got good instincts on the bases. He's surprisingly got sneaky speed. Hard to be sneaky when you get size 15 feet, but he is sneaky. Here's the 1-1 to Belt. Belt flips one Shallow left field. Espinosa is going to make the running catch, and that'll end the inning. Through 4 innings, 1-0 Giants. #14, 2003, we'll never forget it. A massive blackout hits northeastern United States, causing the cancellation of the Giants-Mets game in New York. The game was never made up, and the Giants finished the season with a 100 wins, 61 losses, and that's our McDonald's 2 stories. Here's Dave.
Tyler Moore for the Nats. Strike 1 swinging.
We got our information from Joe Angel's binoculars, who happened to have an AM radio inside his binoculars. Wow.
That'll be my forever takeaway from that blackout.
Well,
Crawford. Nice little pickup there to throw out Moore.
We made fun of him when he got the binoculars. He was like, Joe, serious? And he was so proud of those binoculars. Wouldn't you know it? He had all the information. Well, the Trogs Neck Bridge is closed, and this freeway is open, and here's how we're going to get to Philadelphia. It was like he was the man.
Spent the whole year trying to convince everyone why it was so important to have an AM radio built in to the binoculars.
And they were rinky-dink binoculars, too.
Couldn't see anything.
Seriously, one time he had them on backwards, and he said, I'm not sure these are working. Joe, you got them. You're looking into them in the wrong end.
There wasn't that big of enough difference to really notice. Jesus Flores hitting here for the Nats. What a slider there from Bumgarner.
Yeah, that's right. We did. We drove to Philadelphia to fly to Montreal, and Giants went to Montreal and got swept in a 4-game series.
And blamed it on the blackout.
Yep.
In a 100-win season, a 4-game sweep. And that was the last year the Giants ever went to Montreal, because the very next year they were still Montreal before they became these Washington Nationals. But we played the road series in 2004 in
Puerto Rico,
San Juan, Puerto Rico.
Wow.
So that was the last time the Giants ever were in Montreal. 1-2. Just missed. Well, there's an old Expos fan.
Yeah, not a bad looking hat.
No. Well, I mean, that version I wouldn't say is like the #1 all time. He's got the Nats jersey and the Expos hat. Just a little dribbler. Posey had to deal with the bat. Very athletic play by Posey. Man. Wow, that was not easy.
Well, you're right. You can roll your ankle on that bat. And you got to figure out, what's the spin going to be like on this? See, he almost stepped on the handle. But that's the shortstop, the college shortstop we see in Buster Posey right there.
Great play. 2 down, and here's Lombardozzi. There's lots of talk these days about Posey's candidacy as a potential MVP. That's how hot he's been. I think that talk is legit. Crawford has this one. And it's a quick inning for Bumgarner. Maybe we'll talk a little bit more about that when we come back. 1-0 Giants lead. Of the 5th here at AT Park, it is time for our Subway Eat Fresh Ask the Crew. Visit csnbayarea.com and ask us a question. We'll answer one a game. Marlene from Galt asks, what does it mean when you say someone is out on assignment? It can mean a lot of things.
It can. It means Marlene, that we don't want you to know where Mike Krukow is.
Yeah.
It means
big secret.
That's right. He could be in a number of places. I had a lady today in front of the booth say, "Hi, where's Kruk?" I said, "He's in London. Could be in that boat."
Might be right in there.
He's in London? I said, he missed the Olympics by a couple of days.
Bad planning.
So, on assignment means he could be anywhere. But wherever he is, he's probably watching. Marlene, that's the most important part. On assignment, but watching.
Crawford leading off here for the Giants. And then the pitcher Bumgarner after this. Bottom of the 5th.
John's been on assignment a couple of times this year.
Yeah. He's going back on assignment here, I think, in a week or so.
Yeah, that's right.
All different assignments.
Happens to coincide with Houston.
Yeah. It's the non-Houston assignment. Crawford is the first out here in the 5th.
Yeah, you were in the middle of something.
Well, I just want to make the point. Some of the folks, and evaluating defense is a tough thing to do. And there are lots of ways that people try to do it. Zone ratings and ways that people are trying to quantify defensive contribution. And Posey's getting dinged. Buster Posey's, there's some who argue Posey's defensive numbers are not good, and therefore he shouldn't be a strong MVP candidate or as strong of an MVP candidate. And I just disagree with that. First of all, I think some of those methods are flawed. Second of all, with a catcher, it's impossible to put into a number of figure what the catcher's supposed to do. And I think Posey's been not just an okay, he's been a good defensive catcher for the Giants.
Stats wise, he had some errors early.
Yeah.
And then I think, Dave, there's a perception, not here, but outside of Northern California, that there was a problem between he and Lincecum, which couldn't have been further from the truth. So people are thinking, well, he's not catching Lincecum. Something must be up. It's not. And I think that has been a perception, and we've tried hard to eliminate that and let people know that that's not the case. But once it's there, it's going to hang there for a while. But I think he's done a great job with this staff. And look, he was a rook when he took him to the World Series. At what position? Catcher.
Yeah. Caught every pitch basically that whole postseason. Bumgarner strikes out swinging. So Jordan Zimmerman's found a little groove here. 2 outs, bases empty for Pagan. And I guess my point is it's mid-August, so it's early to be talking about it. But Posey's playing at an MVP kind of level. He's been one of the best players in the league all year. And for me personally, it's utterly ridiculous if somehow the evaluation of him is going to be skewed by saying he's not a good defensive catcher. He's a good defensive catcher. And he's a great hitter. Pagan, ground ball, base hit. Past the reach of Lombardozzi. So Pagan is aboard with 2 down.
Well, subscribe to MLB.tv today to take advantage of new low pricing. See every remaining Giants out-of-town market game online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit sfgiants.com. Order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Steal situation, I do believe.
You would think so. Pagan, who picks his spots well. He's been a good base stealer for the Giants. And Zimmerman and the Nationals are definitely going to pay attention to him. Scutaro's 2 for 2. Pagan 19 steals, caught 6 times. Not running here. Scutaro takes strike 1.
I think Scutaro was going to take a pitch to give Pagan a chance. You can score a cheap run. Single, stolen base single with 2 outs. That's a cheap run.
And Scutaro does have a double in this one, 2 for 2, but he's a line drive kind of hitter. There goes Pagan, and Scutaro hits one to right field. Pagan keeps going. Pagan to third, and he gets the very late stop sign, goes into a slide to hold up. Well done by Pagan. Scutaro's 3 for 3, and the Giants have runners at the corners.
Well, that's putting pressure on Jason Worth and Adam LaRoche. Take a look at the pitch. This is off the plate, and Scutaro, a nice at bat, hit it towards the end of the bat. And with Pagan going, look, right now, the Nationals cannot make any mistakes. Otherwise, Pagan's going to score, and they don't make any mistakes. Worth got it back in quickly. Good job by Pagan to slow down by going into a slide, and the Nationals prevent Pagan from scoring. And had he gone all the way, he would have been out.
LaRoche has a good, accurate throwing arm at first base. Plus, you got your third place hitter, Melky Cabrera, up here now. Melky's hit the ball reasonably hard both times, 0 for 2, but he's had 2 pretty good at bats. A great chance here for the Giants, leading 1-0, trying to expand that lead. There's a big curveball for a strike. We have not seen that pitch that much from Zimmerman. But he breaks it out in a big spot. You got Posey on deck. Fastball high.
Well, if Cabrera can get a ball middle in, and maybe an off-speed pitch with a big curveball, he's got that hole between LaRoche and Lombardozzi.
Here it comes. Cabrera shoots one foul in that direction. Now Melky's got a hit from behind in the count, 1-2. And typically a very comfortable 2-strike hitter. Zimmerman finally gets the sign he wants. And the slider is hit hard foul. Well, Cabrera, he was on that pitch just a little too quick.
And that's a hard ball to hit fair. I think that's probably just about all you can do with that pitch if you're Melky Cabrera.
Jordan Zimmermann, the earned run average leader now in the National League. In a tight spot, Cabrera. High fastball. Still 1-2.
See Zimmerman, Bumgarner, Vogelsong. Opponent average with runners in scoring position. Wow, good battle going right here.
Yeah. Giants fans coming to life here. This will be the 6th pitch of the at bat. Cabrera strikes out at a ball in the dirt. So Zimmerman gets out of the jam by striking out Melky. 2 hits, 2 left. Still 1-0 Giants.
Now it's time for the Coors Light freeze can. In the 2nd inning, Zimmerman to belt. Backspin, gone? No. Very close. Top of the wall, maybe 2 feet, and that ball goes out. And that's a Coors Light freeze can brought to you by Frosted Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer.
Foul ball from Jordan Zimmerman. So the count is 0-1, 1-0 Giants in the 6th. The 9th place hitter, then back to the top of the order for the Nats. Bumgarner pitching well. Zimmerman, who can hit, foul that fastball back 0-2.
This is where you got to be careful. Mike always talks about it. You get that pitcher to lead off, and you start to assume that you're going to start the inning off with an out.
Yeah.
But if he gets on, then it's like, oh, top of the order, here they come.
Well, he is ahead 0-2. He threw that slider, and it is a hit. Kind of hung that one. And SCUTARO couldn't reach it. So Zimmerman is aboard, nobody out. Let's check back with Amy G. Amy.
All right, Dave, thanks for calling me Amy G instead of Amy B, like Dwayne. All right, Petaluma National Little League is headed to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, and they play on Thursday. They're going to take on the Northeastern team. And, gentlemen, they could use a little help, as in some fundraising, because the kids are sent there, but the parents are not, and who would want to miss that moment in their child's life? It's a once-in-a-chance lifetime opportunity, and you can go to csnberry.com and find out how you can help donate to the cause. Let's get the parents there and let's support the team, the Western Regional Champs, guys.
Okay. That is our own Amy V. Danny Espinosa takes a fastball outside.
Big Petaluma Little League fan.
Well, she is like Mrs. Petaluma. Amy G is big in that town. And she is a big supporter. Espinosa lines out to SCUTARO. And Zimmerman, with the jacket on, was able to get back.
That's about the only way you're going to get Espinosa out right now is to catch a line drive. Now
the Giants will take it after the leadoff hit by the pitcher. Here comes Bryce Harper. Harper put the bunt down his last time up, and Bumgarner committed an error on the bunt. The Nationals had 2 on, nobody out, and the middle of their order coming up, and Bumgarner pitched through it. Not quite the same kind of jam here, but still, after the pitcher reaches to lead off an inning. Tough spot for Bumgarner, who misses with the slider down and away. Well, 19-year-old Bryce Harper. He has definitely cooled off, but still ultra dangerous. Big power, big speed. Swings and misses there.
He had some good at-bats, Dave, against Bumgarner in Washington, D.C. Tonight, however, look, he's got a sacrifice bunt, but Bumgarner's been able to handle him.
Now, you see the batting average since mid-July, post All-Star break. It's been a struggle for Bryce Harper. Takes ball 2.
And he had 2 hits yesterday, both ground balls between the third baseman and the shortstop. And, you know, that's what you got to do. But you usually see this kid take that mighty swing like he has in this game.
2-1, and he could not hold up. Jerry Lane says he went around. Strike 2. Well, he took a lot of heat when he first came up. Is he too cocky, too confident? He's done everything the right way. He has handled himself beautifully. But he is slumping. Hit that one right back to Bumgarner. Kind of throws a changeup to Crawford, and that's all they'll get. And maybe they weren't going to get 2 anyway. Harper's fast, but Bumgarner made sure of it. Talking about the sensation that was Bryce Harper back in May 14th. His first major league home run came at Nationals Park. Impressive fashion. I mean, he made a splash right away. Got the curtain call. This guy got the look. He's become a huge star in Washington.
And they're going to have to keep an eye on him right here.
He will steal a base. Ryan Zimmerman, who is 0 for 2. And they will keep an eye on Harper. So swapping out those base runners, that was a good exchange for the Nats. Even though it was out number 2, Zimmerman, the pitcher, is off the bases. He got much better speed out there for Zimmerman. Ball 1. Zimmerman's one of the few hitters over the last month that's sort of been in the Posey stratosphere. Zimmerman has been red hot. And last night swung the bat maybe as well as anybody. He was a huge part of the offense for the Nats. Tying run at first. And Zimmerman hits a ball well to right field. Hunter Pence is back. He's got room, and he makes the catch. And Zimmerman can't believe it. He thought that one was gone. Giants cling to the 1-0 lead.
Giants baseball on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Get the All-American Jack Combo at Jack in the Box. It's a no-nonsense burger with fries and drink for only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. And by GoPro, the world's most versatile HD camera. Be a hero. GoPro.
Another beautiful night looking across McCovey Cove inside AT&T Park. 1-0 Giants. A game played much more to the Giants' liking here this evening. Some young Giants fans with the eye black on, and a guy that I'm sure they are admiring quite a bit these days. Buster Posey stands in. Posey, who has walked and popped out in this game, leading off in the last of the sixth. Zimmerman's been giving him almost all sliders tonight. Another one there for strike one. Look at those numbers. Leading the big leagues, and since the All-Star break means a month now, batting average, on-base average, slugging percentage, the hits, the runs batted in. Any way you slice it, he's been the game's best over the last month. And catching almost every day to boot.
He's had a number of games at first base, which is Bruce Bochy's way of giving him somewhat of a day off. But for the most part, you're right. He's been the guy behind the dish.
Posey drives that one to right field. Worth will get there to make the catch. Posey lines out.
Well, let's check out our Chevron pitching matchup for tomorrow's ball game. It's an afternoon game. Steven Strasburg will take on Tim Lincecum. Strasburg's numbers are fabulous. And Lincecum, he's on his way back. He's pitching pretty good baseball right now. So, as always, should be a good ball game here at the ballpark in front of a sellout crowd.
That is a marquee matchup. And I'm sure not only will we be talking about the resurgence of Lincecum and how he's pitched much better, but I would think the topic of Strasburg and how the Nationals are handling him and are planning to handle him here in the upcoming weeks will come up. If we don't bring it up, somebody will. 2-0 to Pablo Sandoval. Pablo's 0 for 2, his first game starting back off the DL.
Strasburg allowed to sit in the stands for this one.
And not even charting. There's ball 3.
Well, he's allowed to sit with Barry Bonds.
Wow, I didn't know they were friends.
That's the odd couple of the night. Sandoval will have the green light.
3-0. And he takes high. Ball 4. So Pablo takes a walk, and that's a good sign. I think we've seen in the past, Kite, Pablo come back off the DL or after missing a couple games for whatever reason. And sometimes it takes him a few nights to get those wild swings out of his system. He has a hard time holding himself back.
Well, it almost looks like he's determined to make sure he takes some pitches.
Yeah. Just calm himself down a bit. And the Giants will take the walk. This is the part of the lineup that's been productive here tonight. Pence and then Belt. Ball 1 to Hunter Pence. Pence hit one off the right field wall that caromed so hard back to Jason Worth in the second inning that it went for just a single. And Zimmerman, quick chat with his shortstop Espinosa. 92 pitches for Jordan Zimmermann, so he should not be too fatigued. A lot of high-stress pitches. The Giants have had him in the stretch a lot. They've had some very determined at-bats against him. And the Nats are going to get the bullpen going. Pence lines that one. Base hit. Sandoval had to hold up just to make sure. So Pablo stops at second. Pence, good sign for Pence. He's 2 for 3.
He's very good at taking the ball the other way, and he's so strong that he can hit the ball out the other way. Maybe not so much in this part. But right now the Giants pleased to see that a lot of solid contact over the last 3 or 4 days from Hunter Pence.
Yeah, I think the swing is back. The timing's coming back. And he's climbing out of his funk. It was a month-long slump for Penn. About as long of a slump as he's ever had as a big leaguer.
This is a major red alert going on down there.
Yeah. Getting ready in a hurry. And now John's best friend is coming out for a chat with Jordan Zimmermann to really, I think, just stall for some time. Steve McCaddy, the pitching coach for the Nats. Matthews and Gonzalez, a right-hander and a left-hander.
You know, maybe something like, look, you got this guy and you got help in the bullpen. So whatever you got, give it to Belt and we'll come and get you after that. There's our man. That's Crazy Legs Howard. Mr. Kettlecorn working his way up the steps.
The only guy in the park who's got as much energy as Pence.
Mr. Kettlecorn.
Belt drives one. Deep right field. Gone. No. Off the top of the wall. Sandoval will score. Belt is out at second. Unbelievable.
Are you kidding me?
Well, I thought it was gone. I thought it hit the green roof. It was off the top of the bricks. Sandoval scores. It's 2-0. Pence stopped at third, and Belt for the second time in this game gets thrown out on the bases. Wow.
Well, it's had topspin. And topspin does not help balls carry out of the park, but it was about a foot from the top. Yep, maybe less than that.
Yeah, and I thought it hit, if it hits any part of that green roof, it's a home run. And it missed it by inches, and that's it for Jordan Zimmermann. Crawford will face likely the left-hander out of the bullpen, Michael Gonzalez.
Well, that's how you lead the league in ERA.
Get a little
When
lucky.
it's time for a change. Think speedy. Oil change and tune-up. Your oil change tune-up and smog experts. Wake up with Today in the Bay on NBC Bay Area. Get the latest news, weather, and real-time traffic starting at 4:30 on NBC Bay Area. It is a 2-0 lead for the Giants. And Michael Gonzalez is the new pitcher. And if I tell you that he's a left-hander, you'll see that for yourself.
Yes, he is. And Crawford, first pitch swinging. Drives one to deep right center. Worth makes the catch. Wow. Unbelievable. The Giants just crushed the ball in the sixth and got one run to show for it. John's coming back. It's 2-0 Giants.
Filipino Heritage Night 2, presented by Ligo Sardines. Your Filipino event package has included tickets to the game, obviously, access to the pregame Filipino Heritage Night party, and a t-shirt. Call 415-972-2298 or visit sfgiants.com/special events. John Miller is back, as Jason Worth will lead things off.
Did you say it included the sardines too?
Yeah, the sardines are really what it's all about.
I'm in if I can get those sardines.
Here's Worth. Worth is 0 for 2. And he takes a pitch down low. Now, you can say, well, Belt was thrown out at second. It gives you an idea of what happens when you think it's a home run and it's not. Now you got to pick it up. And now, if it's a close play at second, there you go. Here's the 1-0. And Worth breaks down on a swing and a miss, 1 ball and 1 strike. And this is how close it ends up. It hits the very top of the wall, like 2 inches below the green angled wall. And this is hit high and deep into right center field. Is anybody going to catch this one? Pence cannot grab it. And now Worth is going to end up at third, and that'll be a leadoff triple. So all those plays that were made against the Giants, and the Giants have a chance to make one against Worth, and they don't.
Well, Pence had a long run, and he got there. It's almost like he went too far, and he stopped and had to reach down for it. He was anticipating that he'd be reaching up for it, maybe having to still be running when he caught it, and he had to stop abruptly and then reach down, and he never caught it.
So it's a triple.
It's on me, my bad.
And here's LaRoche with the infield playing back, and a swing and a foul, and it's 0-1.
But you know, Brandon Belt, obviously it's a mistake to just admire the home run. It wasn't a home run, and a lot of them aren't to right field in the history of this ballpark. But then he compounded the mistake by trying to turn it into a double. And really, you could almost understand it where he's saying, "Oh, I have to have a double on this because I wasn't running."
And Crawford is going to knock it down. Worth will come in to score, and it's 2-1. And that's got to be a hit. And now the tying run is at first base. So LaRoche hit it right on the nose. RBI number 77 of the year. And here's Tyler Moore.
Well, with the infield back, you figure that's going to be a run as soon as it bounces like that. But Crawford's body did not want to stay in for that one, that little in-between hop.
Popped up. Pence coming in from right field. And that'll bring up Flores.
You know, Pence, it's almost as if he may never have run quite as far as he ran in right field for that deep fly ball and not run out of room long since. But it did seem to surprise him a little bit that he actually ran a little bit, maybe one step further than he needed to.
I mean, he did get there. Flores was flied out and he had a roller out in front of home plate, and Buster Posey threw him out. Down low, 1 ball and no strikes. LaRoche at first. A run in, 1 out. Hit out to Pence again. Pence getting a workout. Remember, it was that start in Washington where Bumgarner kept pitching those right-handed hitters away, and they kept peppering the ball into the seats because that's where the hot spot was. Here, it's a different story. Lombardozzi is struck out, and he's bounced out.
You know, they almost could have given Pence an error. It'd be a tough error to run 8 miles for a ball, but he wasn't leaping for it or lunging for it.
Hit foul off the bat of Lombardozzi. A 2-1 lead for the Giants here in the 7th. And that's off of Lombardozzi's foot, and it's 0-2. Cesar Torres is in the on-deck circle. So Bumgarner about to throw pitch number 80 on the night. Hasn't walked anybody, and he's got 3 strikeouts. Blowing in, dug out by Buster Posey, 1-2. One and two. Got him. Bumgarner will lead things off. 2-1 Giants.
Here come the Giants into the last of the 7th inning with Bumgarner to lead it off as the new pitcher Ryan Matthews comes in.
When it's time for a change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change tune-up in Smog experts. There you see Ryan Matthews. He's got good stuff. You see his numbers. They will tell you that he's got good stuff. And he'll be facing Madison Bumgarner here in the 7th inning. 2-1 Giants. Bumgarner has bounced out and struck out. Zimmerman, Gonzalez, and now Matthews. 2-0.
You know, the way the Nationals have played in the field in this game. It reminds me of most of those games in St. Louis last week, where the Cardinals were doing everything well in the field, giving away nothing, robbing, base hits. The Nationals have done that, doing everything well, and you know, you keep hoping that Brandon Belt is learning some lessons, some valuable lessons here. Because that getting thrown out at second in the 6th inning may well have cost them a run, if not more.
Well, and maybe getting thrown out at 3rd.
Same thing.
In the 2nd inning could have cost them a run.
He would have been at second with nobody out.
3-1 to Bumgarner. And the walk.
Giants baseball on Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area is brought to you by the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Dive in at MontereyBayAquarium.org/love.
Here's Pagan, who singled in the 5th inning. He's 1 for 3. So Matthews walks the pitcher. First pitch, center field. Harper is going to track it down. Another ball hit very well, only to be caught here in this ballpark. Well, Wednesday, September 5th is Yoga Day at AT Park. For tickets, call 415-972-2298 or visit sfgiants.com special events. Here's Marco Scutaro.
Yoga Day. Get out in the field early and do some asana.
Yep.
My best asana is Shavasana.
Yep.
That's the one after you've done your full yoga program where you rest.
Yep. Low, 1 ball and no strike.
I think you'd be good at that too.
Yep. So if you pronounce it, say it.
Shavasana.
Savasana.
Shavasana, yeah.
Good. Glad I didn't try this. Scutaro bounces this one foul.
You just kind of lay down on your yoga mat, arms out, and just let all the tension leave your body.
I do that. It's called a nap.
Very similar. All right. Always could rip off a few downward facing dogs as well.
Bouncy ball up the middle. Espinosa on the bag, and that's a double play. So we will head to the 8th. It remains 2-1 Giants.
away.
Toyota game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. LaRoche has got an RBI. Zimmerman threw the ball extremely well, 94 pitches. Brandon Belts had a good ball game. Bumgarner, 7 innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, and he's thrown 81 pitches. The RBIs of this game for the Giants, Belt has got them both. Bumgarner to face Cesar Izturis. This is the 8th inning, and here's John.
So Izturis to pinch hit for Matthews, as the former Stanford right-hander Drew Storen is now warming up in the Nationals bullpen. Izturis acquired just recently. Switch hitter, batting right-handed, and he takes a slider on the outside for a called strike. Bumgarner's allowed 5 hits, and the one run he allowed was preventable. He's been sensational. Hit softly. Crawford. One away. Now let's go down to Amy G.
All right, John, we need to welcome back a former Giants broadcaster and player, F.P. Santangelo. He is now the color analyst for the Washington Nationals. He's been with them for 2 years, and FP and I chatted a little bit today. And gentlemen, he credits you, both of you, John, Dwayne, Mike, and Dave Fleming, for helping him become the broadcaster he is today. He said it is his dream job to be a color analyst, and of course he's from the Bay Area. He's a Sacktown kid. We miss him, and we wish him lots of luck on the East Coast, guys.
FP, and by all reports, very popular on Capitol Hill. A foul. And back into the crowd. Hunter Pence gave chase. Danny Espinosa with a count of 0-1.
He's a good man. He's doing a good job.
Works with Bob Carpenter on Nationals TV.
I told him one thing: stay out of politics. Just avoid that one.
It's interesting you told him that. I was asking him what he thought about the idea of shutting down Steven Strasburg with the team in a pennant race. He says, I really have no comment on that.
He became.
He swung, according to first base umpire Mike Estrabrook, on appeal. 0-2.
That is funny.
Hadn't realized he'd spoken to you and you'd given him that advice, though. 2 strikes to count to Espinosa, who's had 2 singles tonight. 6 hits in 2 games in this series. Bryce Harper on deck. The high fastball, he took it. Giants bullpen is busy now, just in case. There is Sergio Romo. Mark Gardner. One of the Giants pitching coaches, technically the bullpen coach, but he really is in charge of the relief pitchers. 1-2. And a high foul out of play. Bumgarner now has thrown 87 pitches for the game. There's Drew Storen, the young right-hander in the Washington bullpen. The wind blowing out toward McCovey Cove at the moment. Danny Espinosa hit his 12th home run of the year last night. He's dangerous. 1-2 the count. Espinosa has a much better batting average swinging right-handed. Came into the game hitting .304 right-handed, only .226 left-handed. 3 homers right-handed is all. I don't know how that one missed him.
You know what? If he'd have ran down to first, I don't know if Jerry Lane would have known whether he should call him back or not. I mean, look at this. Looks like it went right through him.
Wow. Looks like one of those Hollywood special effects things. You know, is he really there?
Yep.
Just a phantasm? What? Struck him out with the slider. Number 5 in the strikeout column for Bumgarner. He's had fewer strikeouts tonight than he's been getting since the All-Star break. Bumgarner before tonight had 45 strikeouts in 39 innings. But he's just done everything so well tonight, and I think that's part of the reason why he's still in there going so strong now. The pitch count is very manageable. This will be his 90th pitch of the night. 2 down in the 8th. It's 0-1.
I think John Bruce Bochy realizing that he trusts Bumgarner right now not to make a mistake. And you a lot of times don't make a mistake if you're in shape and if you're throwing the ball nice and easy, and he seems to be doing that.
Facing a guy who could lose one here if you make a mistake. Bryce Harper. A ball and a strike. Harper tonight has fouled out to third. He got a sacrifice bunt, but Bumgarner made an error on it, so he reached. And then he hit into a force play. See, Bumgarner going back to last year. Remember, he had the horrible first half of last season. One and two. But he's been great down the stretch since he's been a big leaguer.
Great with those 2 strike locations to Harper.
The crowd rises. 2 down in the 8th inning. Here it is. And a foul that will reach back out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ryan Zimmerman, another slugger, a right-handed batting slugger, is on deck. Two to 1 Giants, 8th inning. 2 down, nobody on. And a 1-2 pitch on the way. Left center. Pagan has room right in front of the wall.
Not in this yard.
Not here. Cabrera coming up.
Reverse replay. It came in 1999. FP Santangelo fight on the hydrants, and FP was one of the hydrants. And here is FP stealing a bag. You got it, baby. Looking good. And there was the miracle slide that didn't quite work out so well. 113 games. FP at 260 with 12 stolen bases and a 406 on base percentage.
That was always the key for him, that on base percentage.
You got it. You had to have it. It's 2-1 Giants. When it's time for a change, think Speedy oil change and tune-up. The oil change tune-up from Smog experts. John mentioned it. There he is, Drew Storer.
Started the year injured. He was the closer last year. Melky slaps it foul into the crowd off to the left. Storen. He was only 25. He just turned 25 3 days ago. Last year, he had 43 saves for the Nationals. Melky 0 for 3 in the game. Oh, look out, that hit him. Did he swing at it? Yes, the third base umpire, Dan Bellino. So he got a hit in the foot, but it's a swing. So he did not get to go to first.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to argue this. And when I saw it live, I thought he may have fouled it off his foot, but he missed it by about 2 feet.
That ball must have broken about 2 feet.
Yeah.
0-2 the count to Melky. In the dirt with that slider. Melky hit 2 balls hard his first 2 trips to the plate, both caught over toward left center by Bryce Harper, and then he struck out in the 5th inning on a curveball in the dirt. Giants ahead 2-1, last of the 8th. Buster Posey on deck. And that one sinks into the dirt. Storen is in his 14th game of the year. 9 innings pitched, 2 runs, 6 hits allowed. And he's tended toward wildness on occasion. He's walked 6 in those 9 innings and hit 1. There's the Milkman at the plate right now. 2-2. Fair ball. Headed down the left field line. Off the sidewalk. Moore plays it to second. But the Milkman already there with a double.
Well, it's hard to keep Melky Cabrera at an 0 for 4. And here's Lachero down the left field line. And once it gets past Zimmerman, I don't care how good you are in left field, you're not going to keep Melky Cabrera from reaching second base. And no one goes from home to second harder than that man right there. And maybe Bruce Bochy will show Brandon Belt that.
Yeah. And hopefully Belt has figured it out himself already. Here's Posey, who has walked, popped to second, and lined out to right. He's 0 for 2. Runner at second, nobody out. Ball 1. Posey has been the man here lately, but Nationals have pitched him well tonight. This is the first plate appearance in which he has not been facing Jordan Zimmerman. Base hit, come in a run here, and a big run. And that's, not sure where that one missed. Ball to ball. Maybe a little bit high, maybe a little inside. 2-0. Pablo Sandoval is on deck. You've got the Posey, Pablo, and Pence. Middle of the order now for the Giants. With Pablo back from the disabled list and in the lineup. He's on deck. 2-1 Giants. Wild pitch. So Cabrera is now at third. A gift. At third with nobody out.
Now, nothing Flores could do with this. You throw your glove at it, maybe it jumps in your glove. And if it happens, you say, boy, that was a great play. But he didn't have much of a shot at all.
With a 3-0 count to Posey, the Nationals bring the infield in now. Already trailing 2-1. We're in the last of the 8th inning. And he walks him. Runners at first and third, and Pablo Sandoval comes up with a chance to do some serious damage now. And the spot really, he needs to get the one. Even a double play ball gets 1 run home, and 1 run could be huge.
Well, I give credit to Sandoval. He hasn't played at this level in a while, and although he didn't do much in his first 2 at-bats, he did take a walk in the 6th inning and came around to score. But here you can't, I mean, you want Sandoval to be aggressive, but not overly aggressive. Remember, the guy on the mound's the one in trouble.
We were talking about Belt and his misadventures in base running tonight, but he has knocked in the Giants only 2 runs. Down the left field line, slicing into the corner and out of play. Man, he blistered that ball deep down the left field line. 0-1. Pablo took off in the batter's box. Remember that they told him they don't want him to run full out. He says he's about 90%. Now, whether he is at 90%, we don't know. But watch him come out of the box here.
Yeah, and remember, a lot of it is weather related. It's cool, and you got to be careful on a cool night.
He had the hamstring strain that put him on the disabled list in the first place. 1 strike to count. 94 mile an hour with sink. A ball on the strike. Sergio Romo up in the Giants bullpen now. Nationals have their big hitters up in the 9th inning. Zimmerman, Worth, LaRoche. They also have Michael Morse still available on the bench. Back out of play. That's a ball I think we've seen Pablo hit well a lot of times, right down to this power.
Well, I also think that he's been pretty good tonight, being a little bit more selective. But he's got to put the ball in play right here. You cannot strike out in this situation.
Cabrera led off the inning with a double. He's at third. Posey then walked. He's at first. Nobody out. 1-2. Got a piece of that one, and off the forearm of the catcher Flores. Still 1-2.
Well, at some point they're going to elevate, and they're going to throw that fastball just about chest high, and they're going to try to get Sandoval to swing through it.
Well, that is the whole idea for Storen right now, is to strike out Pablo. That sets up a double play that would end the inning with nobody scoring. Hunter Pence on deck. Flores out for a chat face to face with Storen. Pablo is just really getting his bat going. You could see it starting to happen offensively for him when he had the hamstring injury that put him on the DL. 1-2. That one is hit well into center field. Harper squares up. And from third base, Cabrera will score easily. Pablo got it done. It's 3-1 Giants.
Big and strong, get a pitch up, get it in the air, and you should have a sacrifice fly. And that's exactly what happened for Sandoval, his 34th RBI of the season. And Sandoval stayed on top of that pitch that was just above the belt. And a nice sacrifice fly for the Panda. So the wild pitch, a lot to do with that.
Big. It's about the only thing Washington's given up or given away in 2 nights.
It was 90 feet.
And the Giants made him pay for it. Here's Hunter Pence. Posey still at first. 1 out. Pence at the plate. 3-1 Giants. Too low. Ball 1. Giants with their 43rd sacrifice fly. They have hit more sacrifice flies than any team in the National League by far. Pittsburgh's at 36. They're second. That's the Giants lead the major leagues in sacrifice flies. Base hit. And that is the 3rd hit of the night for Hunter Pence.
He's starting to feel it. He's starting to feel it. Stay tuned for the post-game wrap-up in just a bit. Mike Krukow, our partner, who's on assignment. Yes, indeed. He'll talk about the game tomorrow morning with Murph and Mac on KMBR 680.
What time?
On assignment, but still very much in tune as to what's going on. Right around 7:30. It's actually somewhere between 7:30 and 7:40, depending whether Murph is actually on time or not as far as getting to the show. And that's compliments of Rob, who I talk to on Tuesdays and Thursdays before I come on the air. This was Brandon Belt's day in the second inning. He doubled off the wall and left. And while Pence was scoring, Belt decided to go to third, and he was out. And he did knock in the run. And he's had a good night.
Even that one looked like he was kind of admiring it out of the box for a moment.
Yeah, we need to stop that admiring business.
Belt has been very good at knocking in runs tonight. He had knocked in the Giants 2 runs that they owned until this inning. Chance to knock in some more here. And it's low with a fastball from Storen. Cabrera led off the inning with a double. Posey walked. While that was happening, Cabrera took third on a wild pitch. Pablo knocked him in with a fly ball. Now Pence is single. Posey at second. Pence at first. 1 out. 3-1 Giants. Belt swinging the bat really well right now. 1 ball, 1 strike. In the 6th inning, Belt hit this ball and he thought it was gone. Not quite. It did knock in a run and it just missed by inches of going out of the park, and he tried for a double and got thrown out again. And that one may have clearly cost the Giants a run. The next batter, Crawford, hit a blast out into Death Valley in right center from where Pence easily would have scored had there only been 1 out if Belt had held with a single. 2-1. But Belt right now can make us all forget about all of that with another big hit.
Yeah, maybe in the water.
Into McCovey Cove. I'm willing to forget it if he does that.
We're not asking for much.
I could forget it, though, even if he hit a single and knocked in one more right now.
All right.
I could.
I'm in.
2-1. He lays off that low one. Now he chased one earlier in the at bat. Now it's 3-1. And the Nationals bullpen, Burnett, the left-hander, Sean Burnett, will start to throw. Another lefty, Brandon Crawford, is on deck. Posey at second, Pence at first. A run is in. The Giants ahead 3-1. He chased. It's 3-2.
I think he tried to get a little greedy and cheated on a fastball, hoping that it was going to be more middle in. And if you cheat, you want that pitch middle in, and this one tailed away.
That movement running away from it. Pretty good pitch there by Drew Storen. Now it's 3-2. And out of play. Looked like Storen tried to put the pitch in the same spot. This time Belt got maybe a little bit more of the plate, and he was able to fight it off. Still 3-2.
I really hated when pitchers did that, where they try to freeze you because you're sitting there at the plate and you're thinking, should I call time? Should I call time? And while you're thinking that, you should be thinking about when the guy's going to throw the ball.
Still 3-2. Posey at second, Pence at first. 1 out. Base hit. Posey is going to be waved. Worth has a very strong arm. It's there. He's safe. He came in under the tag. 4-1 Giants. Pretty good throw by Worth. And a gutsy call by Tim Flannery. And the ball was there ahead of him, but he came in under the tag. 4-1.
Well, it's a gutsy call because the Giants have had so many guys thrown out today. None the fault of Tim Flannery, but a good slide by Buster Posey is Flores gives Posey a shot at the slide. He takes it, and he just beats the tag. And I got to tell you something. When Flannery sent Buster Posey, I thought he was going to be thrown out at home.
I thought so. Because WERTH has a very strong arm.
He does. And he likes to use it. And he's already shown it tonight. He's got 2 assists tonight. And he almost had 3.
So 2 runs in for the Giants, and that's all for Drew Storen. 4-1. We'll be right back.
Big stories on NBC Bay Area News. For complete coverage, sports coverage on your favorite Bay Area teams, turn to NBC Bay Area News at 11. Here's your new pitcher. It's a lefty and a very good one, and that's Sean Burnett. And you look at Burnett's numbers, and they tell the whole story. 181 ERA, 53 games, and he's got a 1-1 record.
He does not walk many. 9 walks in nearly 45 innings and 44 strikeouts. He inherits Brandon Belt at second. Belt at first, I beg your pardon. 3 RBIs for him.
Good night.
Tying his career record. 3 hits, and each one of them knocked in a run. That's off the glove of LaRoche. Belt. A red of pins heading home, and he scores. Belt to third. That could have been difficult if LaRoche had not touched the ball at all and had gone through, because WERTH was charging it like a third baseman fielding a bunt. He was right behind the infield, but he slowed the ball down and the run scored easily.
Well, LaRoche is very good defensively, and the only thing that LaRoche probably would have been able to do, obviously, is hold that runner from scoring. But Pence can scoot. I mean, he's got those long legs, and he ends up scoring, and that's the 3rd run here in the 8th inning.
So it's 5-1 Giants. And Madison Bumgarner, with a 4-run lead, tries to launch one out toward the yacht harbor.
Yeah, I think Bruce Bochy told Bumgarner when he walked up, "Going up there, kid, and try to hit one out."
Runners at first and third. He shows bunt now.
Well, try to bunt one out.
And then if you don't hit it out on the next pitch, try to bunt.
You know what? You're strong enough. Just bunt one right over that wall in right field.
So Belt is the runner at third. Crawford is over at first. LaRoche on the bag with him. It's bunted foul. And look at the chagrin there from Bumgarner.
Which is all fake, by the way, because he wants to swing the bat. He bunted that on purpose, foul.
So he's got to play the part of, doggone it, for crying out loud. I guess I'll just have to forget that and swing away. I get it. I like that inside baseball stuff. Did he bunt at it? He did. So 2 down. And here is Angel Pagan.
Now, if you're Bumgarner, you got to get over that fast, and I'm sure he will, because you got 3 outs to get.
Pagan is 1 for 4. 1 ball, no strikes from Sean Burnett. And that's got a little unorthodox kind of a delivery, kind of an across the body type thrower.
Well, Mike and I talk about it all the time. When I see that, I think of Scott McGregor, the old pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles.
He kind of steps over toward the first base line and then throws across the body.
Scott McGregor used to throw, and I thought he was throwing to first every time. And I thought, oh my goodness, he's not. He's coming home.
McGregor was not a hard thrower. He had a good curveball and he had a great changeup.
He was good,
but excellent control. Not in time. A tough hop for Espinosa, and when it handcuffed him, he decided his only play, with Crawford really hustling to second, was to try and get Pagan, and Pagan raced up the line and beat his throw.
Well, Pagan is sniffing hit, and Espinosa now looks to second, and tries to hurry to first. He's got a good arm, but Pagan was getting down the line hard the entire way, and it earns him a hit and an RBI. Nice job.
And also kudos to Crawford for hustling all out to second.
Absolutely.
I mean, where did Espinosa catch that ball? Did he get it in the glove, or did he just catch it between his legs?
Yeah, it looked like he did get handcuffed. It was a tough hop. But here it comes back on him. It ricochets, catches it right in the boiler or below, and he really makes a nice play.
And SCUTARO fouls one out of play. You don't see a guy make a play like that very often.
No, you don't. I mean, I'm really impressed with Espinosa. I mean, this is a guy that's been playing second base. Desmond goes down. He's an all-star. And Espinosa just pops right over there, and he plays it like a big leaguer.
And that was a really tough hop. SCUTARO at the plate. He's had 3 hits tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's had a double and 2 singles. Giants have scored 4 runs in the inning and lead 6-1. All 4 of those runs charged to Drew Storen's record. Madison Bumgarner, who has pitched a beauty, 94 pitches. And the Giants finally were able to give him some very serious support.
Down that game on Sunday, the Giants scored 5 runs in the 8th. And then all of those games in St. Louis, not all of them, but a number of those games, they scored a lot of runs late like they have tonight.
And SCUTARO chased that one with 2 strikes. Wanted to make sure, got a piece of it, 2-2. And the Giants had that spectacular 8th inning you're talking about on Saturday or Sunday against the Rockies. They had 2 4-run innings late in that game in St. Louis on Wednesday. A 4-run 8th and a 4-run 9th, not to mention a 5-run 6th. Three and 2 the count. There go the runners. And here is Espinosa off his glove. And out at second is Pagan. Not sure where Pagan was going. So, more misadventures in base running, but the Giants already with 4 across to the 9th inning. 6-1 Giants. On Comcast Sportsnet, part of the NBC Sports Group. Ninth inning, 6-1 Giants, and now at third base, Joaquin Arias replacing Pablo Sandoval, but still on the mound, ready to shoot for a complete game. There's Arias at third. Madison Bumgarner's thrown 94 pitches, looking for his second career complete game. 6-1 Giants. Here's Dwayne.
And the pitch to Zimmerman is outside for a ball, 1-0. It'll be Zimmerman, Worth, and then LaRoche. 4 runs, add-on runs in the 8th inning, allowing Bumgarner some cushion. Zimmerman fouls it off his foot. Zimmerman is 0 for 3. He hit a ball in the 6th inning that he thought was going to go out of the park, and it would have if he was playing in his home park, but here Hunter Pence tracked it down in front of archway number 3.
Bumgarner's only other complete game is they're giving Ryan Zimmerman a little chance to recover after getting that one off himself. That hurt. Let's take a look at it.
Sometimes the best ball you hit all night, John, is off your foot. I remember I went off my ankle one time, and I said to Rick Manning, if I'd have got that ball up, I'd have hit it out. And he said, no, probably not. The 1-1 is driven foul down the right field line and out of play.
Bumgarner had a complete game against the Cincinnati Reds back on June 28th. The night the Giants moved ahead of the Dodgers into first place. He pitched a one-hitter in that game, but he was right around 94 pitches after 8 innings, just as he was tonight.
Got him on a high fastball, strikeout number 6. 1 down in the 9th. Zimmerman slightly limps back to the dugout. Here's Worth.
That one-hit shutout against the Reds came right after the Giants had shut out the Dodgers 3 straight games.
Yeah.
But for Bumgarner, his first complete game, his first shutout, his first one-hitter, all rolled up into one game. That was on June 28th, and now he's 2 outs away from another complete game.
Worth hit a triple in the 7th. That would have been a tough play for Hunter Pence. Way out in Triple's alley. It ended up being a triple, and he scored later on an Adam LaRoche single. I think the more Hunter Pence plays this spot in this ballpark, the odds are he'd catch that ball that Worth hit.
Well, plus, as we've commented on so often over the years, no matter what the flags are showing, a lot of times the ball gets knocked down. It gets crushed out to right field or even right center.
I mean, look, Nate Sherholtz was the best we'd seen out there. Where's the appeal in this one?
The Pence went, actually overran his spot a little bit and had to reach back and down to try to catch it.
Two and 1 to Worth. Giants trying to get a stop job from Madison Bumgarner after getting waxed last night. And that pitch just a little high, not by much. 3-1.
I keep thinking that Jerry Lane forgets that Jason Worth is 6 feet 5 inches tall.
Reminder.
Maybe a little high for all the other guys who batted tonight, but probably not for him.
Bumgarner will try to put this one right down the middle of the plate. And he misses. Bringing LaRoche to the plate. That is the first walk Bumgarner is issued tonight. The defense set up. Belt will play in front of the bag at first. And this is popped up, and that'll be out of play down the left field line. Arias would give chase, but it's going to be in the seats.
42,081, the paid crowd tonight, putting the Giants' home attendance just past 2.5 million already. This was the 60th home game, 21 to go.
Just missed. 1 ball and 1 strike. And another game going on right now, and that's the Angels and the Indians in Anaheim. Angels are leading that game. Two and one. This Bochy probably starting to think that maybe Madison Bumgarner is a little fatigued. And yeah, look, he's big and strong, but at some point, over 100 pitches, you just got to keep an eye on a guy.
Still only 23 years old and turned 23, 13 days ago.
Slowly hit to Arias. Arias on the run. He got him. LaRoche is retired. Worth to second base. And that'll bring up Tyler Moore for his 4th at bat of the night, and he's 0 for 3.
You saw on that play after Bryce Harper took that extra base last night, nobody was at third. And Arias had to come way in for that ball, but Brandon Crawford hustled over to cover third in this instance.
That's the Posey moving in that direction. So here's Tyler Moore. High to the outfield for Melky Cabrera, and this should do it. And that's the ball game. As Madison Bumgarner pitches the Giants to a big win here in Game 2 of this 3-game series. Second complete game for Bumgarner. He throws a 5-hitter and it allows 1 run. He was spectacular, John.
Sensational. He was the stopper for the Giants here. Their first win of the season against the Nationals, the team that gave him his worst line of the year back on the 4th of July. So he turned it around and turned it around big time against this team that had been beating up on the Giants here tonight.
Final score, Giants 6, Nationals 1. Esurance Giants postgame live with interviews and the wrap is coming up. But first, let's go to the Sportsnet Central studio for an update. Thanks for watching Giants baseball on Comcast Sportsnet, and it's all part of the NBC Sports Group.